Good afternoon, I am Naila Scott, and unfortunately my peer Isla Fattar is not with me this afternoon due to ill health, but we have discussed over WhatsApp the planning of our lesson 3. So my actions would be, I will introduce a perceptual skills activity where the learners must place events of the story in the correct order. So I will give the learners 4 sentences. So I will ask the learners to read the sentences and then they have to place the sentences in the correct order. And then my phonemic awareness activity, I will also give my learners a worksheet where they have to identify words that match. So all they have to do is they have to read the words aloud and then they just circle the matching word. And then for my phonological awareness activity, the learners will have to write a sentence for me. So I will also give them a worksheet, and there the learners must actually, I gave them words, but randomly I just jumbled up the words and then they will have to put it into a sentence. So that would be for my phonological awareness. And then after the phonological awareness activity, I will tell the learners that now they will be reading the story. And but this time they're not going to use the blue book. I'm not going to use my blue book, and they are not going to read from the copied book that I created for them, but they will read from the digital book that I created, and they will be using the laptop. They will be reading from the laptop. So before the learners actually start reading, they will have to revise sight words from the previous lesson that I gave them. And then I will also ask each learner maybe to make one sentence using one of the sight words. But that sentence they can just say it orally. They don't have to write the sentence. Right, so I will also, before I start the story, I will also just ask the learners if they remember the title of the story and if they remember the characters in the story. And after the questioning, I will now allow the learners to read the story from my digital book that I created. And I will also stop the learners while they are reading, and I will also ask individual learners just to read a paragraph from the story. And after the story, I will ask them open-ended questions about the story. And finally, I will then tell my learners that they are going to write a letter, and now they are going to imagine that they are Jojo. So in the letter, they will describe the new school, and they will also describe what happened when they maybe found the soccer boots. So they are actually going to now put themselves in Jojo's place and imagine that they are Jojo, and they will have to write and describe what Jojo went through and what he went through at his new school. But I will also explain to them the format of writing a letter, where they have to write the address and how they have to end off the letter. I will facilitate the learners while they are writing the letter, and I will offer support when needed. So that is my lesson that I'm going to present, and what I've discussed with Isla over WhatsApp. This is Isla's actions. Isla will, for her perceptual awareness activity, she will ask learners to place events of the story in the correct sequence. So she will also give the learners a worksheet, and learners will have to number the 4 pictures in the correct order according to the sequence of the story. And for a phonemic awareness activity, She's also going to give the learners a worksheet, and there the learners must identify and circle words that does not rhyme. And for a phonological awareness activity, she's going to have a mystery box game where she's going to place 4 objects related to the story into a box, and then she will allow each learner to remove an item from the box, and then they will have to build a sentence. And thereafter, she's going to tell the learners that they are now going to read the story. So the teacher is going to present the big book and issue the learners with their blue books. And then the teacher is going to read the story and the learners will join in. And she will also ask individual children to read a paragraph from the story. And at the end of the story, the teacher will ask the learners questions about the story, and they will end off the lesson where she's going to tell the learners that they must write a short summary about the story. And we also discussed what we might be struggling with. And I always think that my lessons are a bit lengthy. So, but my peer actually felt that I must just continue with my lesson as planned, and then I can adjust it maybe according to my learners' attention span, which was actually good advice that she gave me. And I thought that my peer's lesson was very interesting, it was appropriate, and it was at the learner's level. And we also discussed that we, in future, that we can add maybe more challenging activities for to allow more critical thinking from the learners, and not just maybe feeding the learners with information, and also asking more open-ended questions. So yeah, that was our third lesson that we have discussed. Thank you.